Yep.
Kia ora, Murray. Welcome to the Justice Select Committee on the Principles of the Treaty of Waitangi Bill. I'm going to get straight into it. You've got 5 minutes to make a submission, including questions. It'd be great if you could leave some time for questions. I'm handing straight over to you. Kia ora.
I'll try to do that. I'm making a submission in favour of the proposed bill as a private individual. My background: I'm also a father. I'm a fourth generation New Zealander, but from immigrant stock, of course. So my presentation, and I'm also a geologist. I'm a rock doctor, and I've worked all over the world in oil and gas. That's not the basis of my submission. The submission, I believe that the country we live in at the moment has been severely damaged by the interpretations, the layers of interpretations by legal and pseudo-legal bureaucracies, which have created interpretations of the treaty which have resulted in divisiveness and uncertainty. An example is last week a real estate agent was disbarred for not agreeing to enrol in a Maori language course, so she's now no longer able to act as a real estate agent because of regulations supposedly.
Sorry, Sam, can you just pause that for a second? See, this is you're going to see this quite a bit for those in favour of the bill in the submissions, because I've seen all of these. I watched this one with gay abandon, if you like. The narrative is, don't look here, look over there. Bureaucrats, unelected officials, judges, pseudo lawyers, it's not those guys in climate change, pseudo scientists. What do they know? I'm a rock doctor. You got rocks in your head, mate. Right through to this whole narrative of and that poor real estate agent, he's been treated so badly. Well, actually, we live in a bicultural, multicultural country. If that real estate agent was representing me in the sale of my house, I want to know damn sure that she is not a racist heathen. So you see a lot of this, and you also see in the submissions prepared by those in favour of the bill. You see a lot of Trumpisms, a lot of actual unpreparedness. Something my colleague Claudette Hoty brought up from the Parliamentary Press Gallery the other week. Into the difference in the submissions from Māori, which are very well thought out and very well prepared. Sorry, that's right.
Let's get back and see how long till we get till the next interruption.
I have 2 adult children, one currently working in Australia and the other studying in the USA. Much as I love my country, New Zealand, I cannot recommend that they plan to live their lives in the dysfunctional society divided on racial lines and with racism and inequality entrenched in legislation, which is where we stand at the moment. The Treaty Principles Bill provides an opportunity to unwind these layers of misinterpretation by bureaucrats and semi-judicial bodies. A huge body of environmental and social precedent, legal precedent, with no founding legal basis, has created an absolute mess. The first legislation, and I'm not aware, but my understanding, the first legislation that required recognition of the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi was the Resource Management Act back in
here we go.
88, 89.
Sorry, but the bloke doesn't even live here. The bloke doesn't even live in New Zealand anymore, and he doesn't want his kids to hang around. Well, the kids probably don't want to hang around because the economy is stuffed. The scope of growth strategy that this current government wants to be on is not arresting the rising cost of living. And old mate doesn't even live in the country. I mean, geez, he's no a guest on somebody else's land. I bet he's got an opinion about Aboriginal people too. You watch.
Yeah. Okay.
And that enshrined in law the requirement to have regard to the principles. However, it didn't say what those principles were. It assumed that the treaty was understood, and it was back then. It was understood. But now the massive body of precedent that has been created has left an urgent need to define and enshrine in law what those principles are. It's a disgrace that a generation of politicians have milked the uncertainty, and another generation of treaty industry players have milked the public purse on the basis of interpretations that suit the interests of small groups of beneficiaries, especially Maorians.
Yep. We've only got about a minute left. Can we go to a question? We've got a member who wants to ask you a question. Can we do that?
No, I'll go to the end. I'm close to the end.
Okay.
Having worked in many countries in the oil and gas exploration industry, I can honestly say New Zealand is the most corrupt. and least attractive regulatory environment that I've worked in. Because of the ambiguity and the need for preference towards Maori, there are demands of race-based payments at every step of the regulatory process, and
zero
great uncertainty for
evidence,
investors.
no proof.
Because of the lack of regulatory certainty and due to the lack of legislative certainty, this bill will at least, and it doesn't actually matter to me whether the bill gets modified, what the basis of the bill is. What is required is that we understand exactly what the meaning of the legal meaning of the treaty will be.
Okay. Hey, Murray, thanks for that. Your time is up, so thanks for your submission to this committee.
And it's a shame that he cannot be sit down there and pressed on his views. And I think he believes if we had an ICAC in New Zealand, it would be sitting down there locking up Māori who are apparently milking the purse, in his opinion, that he probably would sit there and say, considering he's talked about how the whole consulting process has been corrupt.
So just some figures for you, Sam, and this is again the fact that they turn up with no evidence. Anecdotal evidence suggests, I mean, the guy admits that he works in the oil and gas industry, so he's got a vested interest, right? So number one is the Māori economy contributes more than $50 billion per annum. That figure again, $50 billion.
That's about a fifth of our GDP.
Well, that's right. I mean, you know, and the reality is that some estimates are up to $76 billion. And when you consider the amount of taxes that Māori pay, Māori businesses, entities, corporations, and so on and so forth, it's in the billions. I mean, even as a private citizenry workforce, Māori taxation contribution is huge. And here's the other irony. As the general population gets older and the Māori population is remaining stable and increasing, ironically enough, for all of those people that are soothsaying and carrying on like we're some sort of gravy train robbers, we're the ones that are going to be paying the tax to pay for their superannuation and retirement. We're going to be paying for the gold card. We'll be paying for the health system and to. So all of this tomfoolery and skullduggery of the narrative about how we're on some sort of gravy train. Now, that's on the backdrop of the fact that over many, many decades since the signing of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, there was wanton taking of Māori land under both the Raupatu and then the modern day Raupatu or the taking of land, otherwise known as the Public Works Act. The Public Works Act primarily took land that was Māori land. It took it for bridges and roads and airports and schools and railway lines and so on and so forth. Now, our contribution to modern day and New Zealand, both past, present, and now future, has been incredible. So all of this narrative that we're on the gravy train like with some sort of unemployed beneficiaries reminds me of how New Zealanders were treated by Australians in moving to Bondi. Oh, we're all bludgers, we're all wealthy bludgers. You know, that narrative is over, and the very fact that we contribute tens of billions per annum, tens of billions per annum. And
properly correcting paying taxes and not doing tax avoidance.
Well, that's right. I mean, you know, unlike some of those tax avoidance companies. I mean, I remember the old days of Faye Richwhite. You know, so you know, all these people going on. Also, don't forget that Māori as a workforce contribute significantly to the backbone of the running of this economy. I mean, we share the sheep. We bundle the wool to market. We are the logistics and supply chain workers. We work on the wharves at the cargo bays. We work in the shops and in the call centres and the banks. We're doctors and nurses and teachers. So I just find this narrative the most grating of all. If anyone's on the take, it's old mate that doesn't even live here, whining about how, my kids are going to leave New Zealand. Well, they're going to leave because actually successive governments have failed to address the needs of the working class, which is an ever-increasing need to keep up with the cost of living in a world that is becoming smaller, not bigger.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. Who's got the order, baby?